Hello everybody, my name is 711 and welcome to a video that I made. And oh my goodness guys, do I have so much information to share with you guys. It has been far too long since I made a video, but life is busy, life is messy. I've been doing a lot of Frisbee leagues in Pittsburgh, and hunting season is around the corner, and stuff with my job was getting pretty hectic. And you know what? This is not meaning that I'll be having regular uploads, but I just felt so compelled to make a video today, and so here we go. So this video is about a lot of spoilers that have been very recently been going around, and this is exceedingly exciting, very hyped. For you guys that do not like spoilers, you can watch this video in about a month from now so that it will no longer be spoilers for you. Okay, so if you are still here, then you are really looking forward to all of these spoilers. So what are these spoilers? Mostly the egg moves and the move tutor moves. They have been released. So without further ado, let's start off with knockoff. A lot of Pokemon have been needing knockoff, and a lot of Pokemon have been are really going to be using knockoff a lot. So I have a bunch of them here. Allow me to introduce them to you. Now, if some of these Pokemon already knew knockoff, I do apologize, but in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, knockoff is going to be exceedingly easy to get a hold of. So we have Necrozma, we have Delmise, we have Kartana, we have Incineroar, we have the Genies, Thundurus, Tornadus, and Landorus. We have Empoleon, we have Marshadow, Toxapex, Pikachu, Golisopod, Pinsir, Solgaleo, Serena, Tapu Fini. Toucannon gets knockoff. So does probably the biggest Pokemon that can use knockoff, and a Pokemon that doesn't have all that great dark coverage in the first place, Guzzlord. Guzzlord is excited to be using these all this knockoff potential. This is going to be really exciting, and I can't wait. I can't wait to have all these Pokemon be using knockoff. So Incineroar definitely could have used knockoff. Kartana has Night Slash already, almost as strong. With a crit, it's stronger than just the base damage of knockoff. But I mean, yeah, knockoff is just so powerful that it would be so great to that Kartana now has knockoff. Marshadow has a lot of really good coverage already, and now he has even more. And so these are basically all the new knockoff users that will be using knockoff the most. So next, let's get into Defog. Now Defog is going to be such a massive switch in the competitive scene. The reason why is because so many Pokemon now have access to knockoff. So many, I can't name them all, but let's name a few. First of all, just about all the flying type Pokemon now have knockoff, like Aerodactyl, like Delibird, like Pelipper, stuff like Unpheasant and Pidgeot. You know, they all have Defog. They probably all had Defog before, but now it's so much easier to get a hold of. other Pokemon. We have Beedrill, we have Blaziken, we have Castform, we have Florges, we have Hydreigon, we have Empoleon, but Empoleon was mentioned before. I'm going to say Piplup. Piplup gets Defog. One major thing is that all of the Rotom forms now get Defog. Moving on, there's Serperior and Comfey and Silvally and Tapu Fini and Tapu Koko. And once again, here's another big one, the Genies. The Genies all get Defog. The Gen 6 legendaries up in the top right corner, they get it. The box legends from Gen 5, Reshiram and Zekrom, they get it. And also Whimsicott gets it. So look at all of these. We have the Rotom forms, that is huge. We have the Genies, that is huge. Landorus, I am so sorry, Landorus. You get Knockoff, you get Stealth Rock, you get Double Dance with Rock Polish and Swords Dance. You can be a bulky Rocky Helmet set, you could be a Scarf set, a Banded set, you could be a Life Orb set, you could be a Sub Leftover set. You can have like a Yachi Berry set. Well, now that you have Defog, this may just be the time that you disappear and go into Ubers. And I really hope this doesn't happen. Really hope this doesn't happen. Blaziken getting Defog. Why not? Everyone's getting Defog. Castform gets it. Silvally gets it. I think that Comfey will be an interesting Pokemon to make use of Defog. You know, you can Defog and then U-turn, or Aromatherapy, Defog, U-turn, and what would be like a fourth move? Toxic, or maybe Draining Kiss, or not Aromatherapy, Synthesis. I think you get Synthesis, but yeah, lots of Pokemon get it. And here, guys, is the Pokemon that I think will be the most useful with Prankster, and that would be Klefki. Yes, the Prankster Defog Klefki. I never thought I would see the day. Never thought I would see the day. So, here's the thing, okay? You have Sticky Web. Well, Klefki doesn't care too much about Sticky Web. You have Toxic Spikes. Klefki doesn't give a hoot about Toxic Spikes. You have Spikes, okay, that hurts some. And then there's also Stealth Rock, and because Klefki is a Steel type, Klefki is not going to care all that much about the measly Stealth Rock damage. So, yeah, we see a lot of great potential here. Serperior getting Defog is going to be really interesting. Hydreigon getting it. Why not? Just why not? And that's only, you know, like I said before, pretty much all the flying types also get it. So that's just ridiculous. So that's basically Defog. That's amazing, just absolutely amazing. So knockoff and Defog, those are like the two big ones. Going on to some other ones. So Liquidation, it is not a move that was very widely known in Alola. Basically just three Pokemon, Araquanid, Golisopod, and Toxapex. Basically those are the only ones that know Liquidation. So Liquidation is the ever so slightly better waterfall. Why? Base 5 damage more. Has a decent chance to drop defense. And so, you know, what switches into a Liquidation? You know what I'm saying? Vaporeon. that switches into a liquidation. So the thing with liquidation compared to waterfall is that if a really heavy hitter is going for liquidation and is already going to do like 90% of the damage, then who cares about a defense drop? You know what I'm saying? It was already going to kill next turn anyway. So especially for a faster Pokemon, it would be much better to have the flinch chance. So if you look at Liquidation, Liquidation is going to be a tutor move, and a lot of Water-type Pokemon get it. But unfortunately, a lot of Water-type Pokemon are special. Suicune. Suicune can get it, but does it make sense? Not particularly. So there are a handful of Pokemon that I did believe would work, that they would get liquidation. These are just a small handful of Pokemon that I see running liquidation. We have Armaldo. Armaldo, because you're so slow, you're probably never going to flinch anything. And you do have some pretty decent attack already, but the problem is that, well, not quite a problem, but liquidation's not stab, and so like any extra damage would be useful. Another Pokemon is Blastoise, also because you're fairly slow. Yeah, you probably are going to run Scald most of the time, but I mean, if you're in a league and, you know, you just, a Pokemon decides to send in like an Assault Vest on a Blastoise, well, Liquidation is going to hit on the physical side. Another Pokemon is Feraligatr. I chose Feraligatr because of the sheer force boost. Liquidation will be hitting a little bit harder than Waterfall with this already, but with the sheer force boost, it's a little bit more than a little bit more. So I figured that. I decided to just throw Kabutops on this list because why not? Kabutops a lot of times is going to be in the rain already, and so Liquidation. And you know what? If Liquidation, for whatever reason, does not, if Liquidation does not KO the Pokemon, then I suppose that Waterfall would be a better idea for flinch chance. But yeah, I just decided to put Kabutops on this list. And then the last Pokemon is Mew. Mew is I shouldn't say never. Mew is most likely not going to get stabbed with Liquidation. Unless it does some sort of camouflage weird stuff. Mew's not going to take any sort of... is not going to be dealing stab damage with Liquidation. Since a lot of Mews can be bulky, they aren't always the fastest Pokemon on the field. And that means that Mew would not be flinching too many Pokemon with Waterfall either. But yeah, it's just, you know, a little something, you know. It's nice that Mew gets it. It's nice that Mew has this opportunity to be using a new move. I mean, Liquidation is a pretty new move, you know, by comparison. Waterfall's been around for quite a while now. Also, a fair number of Pokemon get the move Outrage. And so, Outrage, a couple examples, we have Mega Ampharos, well, even regular Ampharos gets Outrage now. So if you feel the need to run a physical Ampharos, you know, that's a possibility. I also found it neat that Buzzwole gets it, that Lycanroc gets it, and I'm going to assume for this that that all three forms of Lycanroc now get access to Outrage via Move Tutor. Also, Marshadow gets it, and Necrozma gets Outrage. Silvally gets it, and so does Solgaleo. Of all these Pokemon, I would be probably most fearing an Outrage from Solgaleo, even though it's stabbed from Mega Ampharos. Like, in real life, if you're standing toe-to-toe with any of these Pokemon, yeah, Buzzwole has the muscles, but Solgaleo is just so much bigger, um, appears to be heavier. You just don't want to take an outrage. So, that's kind of neat. Um, and then finally, I'm going to wrap up with a couple Pokemon that are just off the wall that I really wanted to talk about that don't have a category that they fit into. So first of all, a big boost, Riolu. Riolu now has the egg move. Actually, back up. Riolu is going to evolve into Lucario one day. And what does Lucario have in terms of Steel-type moves? Lucario gets access to Flash Cannon, and Iron Tail, and Metal Claw. Okay, well you're pretty much never going to run Metal Claw unless Metal Claw is only for one Pokemon, and Metal Claw was going to kill anyway. So there is that. But I mean, it would really be nice if Lucario got Iron Head. Does not get Iron Head. To my knowledge, still does not get Iron Head. But one move that Riolu now has as an egg move is Meteor Mash. Meteor Mash is going to be huge on this Pokemon. It has a chance to raise an attack. A Z Meteor Mash from a Lucario is going to be utter destruction. Absolute utter destruction. I can't talk. Absolute utter destruction. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to be using that set in the future. Next up, another Pokemon I want to talk about is Tsareena. Now, Tsareena has a really great move pool already. It gets Rapid Spin, gets U-Turn, it gets Drop Kick, gets High Jump Kick, Play Rough. All really great moves. But one thing that Tsareena has really been lacking in is its strongest stab move on the physical side, because you're mostly a physical attacker, is Drop Kick. Drop Kick is 70 base damage and will always lower attack, which is kind of neat. You can run a choice band set and be able to take a couple hits because you're going to be lowering the other Pokemon's attack. But Drop Kick in and of itself is not doing that much damage, and that's really unfortunate. But now, thanks to move tutors, Tsareena now gets Seed Bomb. Now Seed Bomb is 10 base more damage output, and that would probably be enough to start KOing things finally, even though Seed Bomb doesn't have any other secondary effects. But still, only 10 base more, that's not all that great. So the Pokemon Company decided to give it a little more power and give it the egg move Power Whip. Yeah, that's right, Power Whip. Now Tsareena is meaning business, and now Tsareena is like an actual physical threat. I mean, it was a physical threat before, but now it's a stab. There's stab physical threats here, so that's pretty awesome. Another Pokemon that I want to talk about is Alomomola. And why Alomomola in Alola? I'll tell you why. Is because there are basically like two ways to beat an Alomomola. One is to Toxic it, and the other is to rain down thunders from the heaven. Well, now Alomomola gets Refresh. Well, so Toxic was not going to be helping much. And now Alomomola also gets Pain Split. So if you are sending in another Pokemon that's a full health, Alomomola can basically Pain Split and then swap out with Regenerator. And now Alomomola will pretty much be unkillable. More or less unkillable. Another Pokemon I want to talk about is Kommo-o. Now, Do you guys remember just before Sun and Moon was released that everyone was excited for this fighting dragon type Pokemon? And I think we saw some of its stats. Komodo's was going to be a really strong fighting dragon type, and we were all really excited to use it. And then we found out that Komodo, his best fighting type move is Sky Uppercut. Oh man, not only is that not really high base damage, but it has a chance to miss. Well, that is really, that is a right shame. That is a right shame. Well, now, thanks to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Komodo now gets Superpower and Close Combat. Dragon Dance Komodo is officially a real threat again, and Komodo is ready to claim lives. Another Pokemon to talk about, Kartana. Kartana is going to be really interesting to be using again. Now, you know, Kartana has among the highest base attack stats in the game. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a really strong moves to couple with that. I mean, Smart Strike is not all that strong. Leaf Blade is. You know, Night Slash is okay, I suppose. And it also gets Sacred Sword. Yeah, well, as for those last two, Night Slash and Sacred Sword, both got a boost because now Kartana gets Knockoff and Superpower. Superpower is obviously stronger than Sacred Sword, and Knockoff is obviously stronger than Night Slash. So now Kartana gets some pretty stronger moves to its arsenal, and another thing is that Kartana can essentially double dance with Sword Stance, and now Kartana gets Tailwind, so that makes it a massive threat to the fact where you probably don't even need super effective hits in order to be KOing Pokemon. So that's Kartana for you. Another interesting thing I wanted to talk about, where is it? Zigzagoon and Zangoose. Now, of course, you guys know the story of Lanoon. Lanoon gets Belly Drum, give it a berry. I forget what berry it is right now, but and then just spam Extreme Speed. Well, you can only do that if you got the Japanese event a while ago, where you get an Extreme Speed Lanoon, and then you teach it Belly Drum. Well, that is now in the past because now Zigzagoon gets access to Extreme Speed by Egg Move, and so that means that Zigzagoon is now accessible to everybody, and that is really great because I didn't get that event, and so that's pretty exciting. And now Zigzagoon is starting to play a very similar role because even though Zangoose, did I say Zigzagoon? Zangoose is filling a very similar role now because Zangoose now gets Belly Drum. Belly Drum Quick Attack is going to be some pretty amazing damage. What's interesting is that, you know, I don't have the calc in front of me, but if you switch in a Celesteela on a Zangoose, as Zangoose goes for the Belly Drum and then the Toxic boost, a Facade does one-shot a Celesteela, and that is nightmare material. That's absolutely nightmare material. Moving forward, we have Slurpuff. Slurpuff. If you guys see a Slurpuff, you probably think of one, maybe two sets. You probably think of like Calm Mind and then Dazzling Gleam, Flamethrower, and maybe some other move, maybe Substitute with a Berry. That's a pretty good move set. That's a pretty good, set. But the more standard one is Belly Drum with a Citrus Berry, and then you can teach it Drain Punch and Return and Play Rough. Yeah, those are two great sets. Well, guess what? Now, Slurpuff gets the egg move Sticky Web. Yeah, I don't know how Slurpuff gets Sticky Web, but now it does. And interestingly, so does Araquanid. Yeah, Araquanid gets Sticky Web now, so that's really interesting because Sticky Web is a really great move. And off the top of my head, Galvantula is probably the best one. Then Ariados, then Levani, and what's that last one? I think Cricketune also got Sticky Web. So yeah, Sticky Web is really good. Not a lot of Pokemon get it and can use it well. Smeargle is up there too. That's what everyone thinks of because Smeargle does get every move, and because Smeargle gets every move, people assume that Smeargle has Sticky Web. So that's kind of neat. So I just decided to put Slurpuff up here because Slurpuff gets Sticky Web now. Now, I mean, it makes sense that Araquanid gets Sticky Web because it's a spider. But Slurpuff isn't even a bug. So that's really neat. And then finally, I have one last Pokemon to talk about, and that is Mudsdale. And why Mudsdale? Well, Mudsdale actually already has quite a few nice egg moves. Gets Heavy Slam, gets Close Combat. You can teach it Earthquake and then probably Rock Slide or Stone Edge, and then either give it like a Choice Band set or maybe an Assault Vest set. You could run a Rest set, Resto Chesto. Yeah, the Mudsdale is a fairly good Pokemon already. Especially with that stamina ability. One reason why this Pokemon is not higher is because Mudsdale, as a ground type, does not get any entry hazards. Well, that is now a thing of the past because Mudsdale now has Stealth Rock and also Palisand and what's the pre-evolved Sandygast, I think. Yeah, those Pokemon, they have Stealth Rock now, and that's really good. That's pretty exciting. And so yeah, that's why Mudsdale is here. So yeah, of all these Pokemon, I can't wait to be using like a Z Meteor Mash Lucario. I can't wait to be using Close Combat Komodo. I can't wait to be using Sticky Webs with, other different Pokemon. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be an absolutely great time. And so, if you guys are as hyped as this Blastoise is, you should get Pokemon Sun and Moon. Go buy it. Go play it. Go and be awesome in those games. And check out the competitive battling because everything is going to be so intense. Everything is going to be so hyped. Everything is going to be absolutely out of control. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. And I'll see you all later. Peace.